You're right. There's lots of danger there. Let's call this guy and see, because I don't know what this guy looks like or whatnot. I can give him some advice about how to get picked up, but I'm guessing.
I don't think you're in any position to give anyone advice about anything.
What's your advice? Show a little leg?
And I'm your buddy. Like, I like you a lot.
Here's the thing. I am the quintessential dad that screams, do what I say, not what I do.
Quas-essential.
The Quas-essential.
What's this guy's name?
Pat.
Oh, Pat. Okay.
Don't you listen in our pre-show meetings?
TrueTransient.com, not TheTrueTransient.com, which is a car messaging site.
Is this Pat, the hitchhiker?
Yeah, this is me.
Hey, what's going on?
Are you drunk? Yeah,
Well, you don't.
What's up?
You can be drunk all the time if you're hitchhiking. That's the best way to
that's
do
true.
it. So, Pat,
No, completely sober.
explain to our audience what you're doing.
So, July 10th, about a week ago, I started on a cross-country hitchhike trip to San Francisco from Orlando, Florida.
Okay, now what made you decide to do this?
Oh, man. About 4 years ago, I picked up a hitchhiker, this guy with a large backpack on the side of the road and a sign that said South just on his backpack. And I picked him up and brought him, 30 minutes down the road, and he told me that he was coming all the way from Canada, and he got to Florida within a month. So that's when it became like a travel opportunity to me, and not just something that people just kind of did when they were down and out, and destitute or whatever.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I've been really interested in it, and I did a trip about 6 months after that, a small trip, and then I thought I'd be done with it by then, but kind of got the itch again to do it, and it was quite the upgrade with going kind of across the country this time.
Now, let me ask you, Pat, because you probably done a lot of research in this, but like the perception people have, like we were just talking about hitchhikers, is that they're all bums, and they're just like they're destitute, like you said, and they're just like bums trying to get a ride. But I feel like back in the '60s, and there was like movies about that, like you would like hippies and stuff, and people would hitchhike. Although it was like
there's also a horror movie about it.
But I think that's
absolutely.
But that's the anomaly. Like, think about it. Like if you're like hitchhiking, the chances of a fucking serial killer picking you up are slim to none. Or like,
it doesn't have to be a serial killer; it can just be a killer.
Yeah, or just a killer. That's the more rare.
It doesn't have to be a guy that's like, you know what, I want to kill 7 people. It can be the guy that's like, I'm just going to kill one.
But back in the day, and Pat can correct me, but it used to be a more viable form of transportations. I feel like lots of hippies used to do it. It used to be like ass grass or cash.
Or cash.
Yeah.
Rules of the road.
Yeah, so you'd have to blow them or give them cash, or
I will not blow a dude to get a ride,
or give them weed.
Right.
Well, maybe I would. I might.
People used to do it a lot. I mean, yeah, back in the '60s it was big, but also even before that. And then around the '80s, there was Jeffrey Dahmer and just kind of movies that kind of freaked everyone out. And then you got the 24-hour news that kind of just freaked everyone out even more. So, plus also people got richer, and they were able to buy cars for cheaper.
Are you alluding to the fact that CNN killed the hitchhiker?
Well, news scares people.
I actually think that has a big part to do with it.
Really?
Yeah,
it's news media.
It's fear mongering, like it's what they do with anything. Like you're yeah. Go ahead.
The only thing you hear about a hitchhiker, if anything, in the news is like a sensational story. Just you hear about the time when someone got murdered, and you never hear about the thousands, countless other times when people have done it and got where they needed to be and had a great time.
Yeah. It's kind of like the pit bull deal, where like a fucking pit bull mauls a baby, and then all you see is,
exactly,
and then everybody's like, well, pit bulls are fucking.
Ooh, hitchhiker fighting. I'm gonna start a hitchhiker fighting ring.
So
snort some gunpowder, and you make them fight in a pool.
So Pat, let me ask you this:
car batteries to their tits.
What have you found is the best way to hitchhike? Because all we know is the stereotypical guy with backpack walks down the road, thumb out, and cardboard sign that says,
"That's what he's doing."
Is thumb out still an accepted way to flag a vehicle?
That's exactly what he does.
Yeah, there's good and bad ways to do it, and you kind of learn that as you go along. You're not allowed. It's illegal to hitchhike off a roadway which is kind of weird. It's in the law. It's written as you can't hitchhike off a roadway, but that just means you can't hitchhike off the interstate. Like technically be off, say I-4 and have your thumb out when cars are whizzing by. But you can go off the exit ramp right before the exit ramp starts to, head onto the interstate, and this is the best way I've learned to do it is you just stick out your thumb and you have a sign that says the destination where you're going.
So what now? Do you do small? Because for me, it seems like hitchhiking on a big semi truck that is traveling super. Like say someone's fucking transporting oranges from here to fucking Missouri or whatever, like the middle of the state.
Yeah.
Like that's the best.
Large Marge saying.
Because remember when Justin Whopper Jr. hitchhiked from here to I remember listening.
That's one of my top 5 radio bits.
Classic radio hijinks.
Yeah, but he did all through truckers, and so let me ask you, who's most likely to pick you up? Is it the trucker or the guy that drives for a living or the rando?
Well, in my experience, not the truckers, because in their contracts, this is what I've heard, that they're not technically allowed to pick up hitchhikers. But I've actually never ridden with a trucker before, but
I also think it
I've
would
heard
be
of
harder for an 18-wheeler to come to a stop on the side of the road.
it is, exactly. Yeah, you can't stop easily enough, and it's just...
Yeah, that's just logic.
kind of a lost cause.
Yeah.
And plus, their whole thing is
But
getting to one place as quick as they
I have heard
can.
of hitchhikers walking up at truck stops and just kind of asking if anyone's going in a direction and doing it that way. And I know a lot of people who've done that, and that's something I'm willing to try in the future.
I feel like, though, if you walk like a lot and ask where they're going, that they're going to expect you to blow them.
Or give them weed or gas.
Yeah, or give them,
They know the rules.
Yeah, or give them something. I feel like, they're going to want something in return.
Can I ask Pat a
Yeah,
question?
I mean, I don't know about that. I've never encountered that.
Have you ever blown a dude?
Be a way better story.
Never blown a dude or anything.
Well, don't laugh like
for a
that,
ride or
because
whatever.
close.
Go ahead, Russ.
Oh, Pat, I wanted to ask you. I mean, hitchhiking to me happens every day. That's a thing. You put your thumb out, you hitch your ride. You've done something that I don't know. I know a single other person has ever done. What was it like to sell or give away everything you own except for literally a backpack full of shit?
Yeah. So basically, my backpack is just probably under 40 items right now, and it weighs around 35 pounds. But
so right now, this gentleman that we're talking to owns 40 things in total.
Yeah.
No, you sold everything you own?
His car, his old magazines, his skateboards, guitars, got rid of it all.
I have a couple cartons of just kind of sentimental things that my parents have.
Well, technically, with the amount of debt I have, I only own 30 things. So I win.
Right, but you have it all. You can use it. You can watch your TV and shit.
And I bring my backpack. They
I don't own them.
have me and every single thing that I own in their car.
Damn. So this is more than just a small challenge in your life. This is a lifestyle change. You're becoming a minimalist.
Absolutely.
And now,
do you ever dream about that? I look at my
This
dad.
is my fantasy. Remember, we talked about
I
this.
look
I
at my
want to
dad-
live under an overpass.
I look at my dad bookshelf and I'm like, I wish I could get rid of all this shit, but I can't. I need all of my first editions that I found in Goodwill.
I can't now.
My free comic
Well,
book
it's
day
funny.
comic books.
It's funny once you start you make that jump and you get rid of one thing and then you get rid of more. For me at least, it became really fun to just get rid of all my stuff. I would be at work and I would be thinking, oh, what can I throw away next when I get home?
it become addicting. I'm sure
you're the
Yeah.
anti-hoarder.
Yeah. Each
And
thing.
then now I look at it and I don't understand how I could even live with all that stuff now. It's been so liberating.
I do, man. I kind of feel because when I walk into my garage or my pool shed, I mentioned, I see a bunch of shit, and I'm like,
Oh no, just you and the French witch. Take on America.
if I just
there's a whole industry behind it now. I mean, there's storage warehouses. I think it's 2.2 billion square feet in the United States of just storage units for people to just put their crap.
Yeah, and they never even look at it.
See,
It's a sickness.
this is my weird fantasy
Yeah.
of. But see, what I want to do is,
You
and
want
I'll
to live in the Luray Motel every time we pass by. You're
Oh,
like, I want to live there.
I do want to live there, but I'll take it a step further, sir. And I don't. You probably didn't do this because you sound like level-headed. You don't sound crazy like me. I want to get rid of my friends and family. Like I want to be I want to be alone.
Well, this guy's basically moving. Like, did you all your family and friends live in Orlando?
Yeah, basically Orlando and New York. So
Yeah, so you're going to
Yeah.
some place that totally, you don't have any friends or family in San Francisco, right?
no, I don't. I'm going somewhere where I don't have really any friends or family. And,
Yeah.
and well, the end game is Hawaii. I'm flying from San Francisco to Hawaii when I get there.
Oh no, shit! So you're going to try to, and then are you going to start just basically start a new life in Hawaii?
I'll be working on an organic farm in Hawaii, and on the off time, I'll be doing freelance graphic design.
That is cool, man. Like, no,
you got no computer, so you're just gonna like
Well, you
draw
need-
sketches and have pigeons fly them to.
Well, no, I have a laptop in my bag.
See,
That's one of the 40 things.
This is my dream. It really is. I'd have my phone. I'd have my laptop. I'd have a backpack. I live under an overpass. I have no friends because I hate all of you.
Well,
I knew that.
The cool thing about it is like you get rid of all your stuff, and that leaves not only time but like space in your brain to fill that with like focusing on your friends and relationships and your family.
I can
So that was a
finally
big thing for
extend
me.
the list of people I want to kill.
So Pat, where are you right now?
I'm in Franklin, Tennessee.
No shit. So how long did
We're in
outside of
Franklin.
Nashville.
You need a ride?
how long did it take you to get from Orlando to Franklin? You said 4 days.
So Orlando. When I left Orlando, I got to Atlanta in a day. Then I got from Atlanta to Chattanooga, Tennessee in a day. And then from Chattanooga to Nashville, I got here in a day.
Tell us,
And,
tell us a little bit
3 days.
about the people in 3 days. Tell us a little about the people that you encountered that picked you up. Like, can you give us like maybe a couple of profiles of people that you talked to? Did you?
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So I got picked up by 2 girls and 3 guys. 5
Okay.
people in total.
Oh, did you fuck the
so my
girls?
So my first ride was actually a woman who barely spoke any English. She's from Guatemala. She lived here 5 years, works as a chef.
Tom.
And I speak a little tiny bit of Spanish, and we kind of got by on that. And she drove me to Atlanta about like 5 hours or so, 6 hours. So
Wow, you
she
think
was awesome.
you would think that women would be afraid to pick up a grown man? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? As a
but he's-
hitchhiker.
Right.
But it wasn't a white woman.
What does he
and,
look like?
And I feel like
Well, no,
I've-
I also got picked up by a white
Hipster.
woman.
I know, but I'm gonna
my
shit on
what
my
he
own
does.
race for a second and say that I believe that any minority is gonna be a little more kind if they're you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think a
Yeah.
Spanish woman is gonna be more polite and kind than a white woman. Sorry,
Yeah.
I know that sounds like reverse racism
she wasn't
weird,
even
but
from America.
does anybody
but I think
disagree
that's
with that?
actually a big thing.
that seems
Foreigners.
correct, right?
No, I wouldn't pick him up. I'm a white woman.
No, you're not. You're an Indian. You can't fit him on your horse. Weird.
So what was the next person that picked you up?
I got picked up by a 26-year-old dude right outside of Atlanta. He was in a Audi. Which, I posted videos on our website, and some people were like, "Oh, wow, an Audi." They're kind of taken aback that these like decent cars are picking me up.
Do you say anything when they first pick you up, like "I promise I won't kill you," or does that scare people away? because I
Or when you first sit down and you're
well-
silent, and then you're like,
do you lift up?
Some of them ask me like, "Oh, do you have any drugs on you?" or something like that. And then I just say, "No drugs, no weapons."
I'm sure that's worth.
No, but
trusting
see,
a hitchhiker
if
than a stranger.
if I
I'm a
picked you
killer,
up-
I will tell you no too.
no, but if I picked you up, I'd be, do you have any weapons? And you say no. And then I say, do you have any drugs? And you're like, yes, I have Oxycontin. And I said, well, we're going to get along just fine. Where are you going and how far can I take you?
Do you sleep in?
Right.
Do you sleep in hotels or tent or what? What's the deal?
Well, I've been pretty fortunate so far. I haven't had to camp out. I do have a camping hammock with me, and I will have to do that on my trip. But so far, I've been able to stay at friends' houses and just like family, friends of like family friends and stuff like that. A friend's parents' house in Franklin.
Now, have you ever had in your past hitchhiking adventures? Have you ever had someone pick you up and just like get freaked out like midway through, or like regret it and then just make you get out, or pick you up and be like, "I get out here," and you're in the middle of the fucking woods? Like that would I would be like, how do you protect yourself? Because there are and there has been, and you probably know about this. There has been people that have picked up hitchhikers to kill them
Purely for that.
Yeah, like and that's been a thing. Usually,
I mean, I want to do that, but I can't find any hitchhikers. I mean, I would kill all of them. But.
So how do you protect yourself?
I mean, there are those things do happen, but if you really look at like that, and that's kind of what everyone talks about. But if you look at the actual statistics, it's very unlikely that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
My experience has been extremely positive. I've never had like a weirdo, try to do anything, and I've been relatively comfortable with my experience.
Okay, let's go back to my original question. Have you fucked any of the people or any of the ladies that have picked you up hitchhiking?
I haven't, no.
Oh, damn it.
Well, you know what? Good luck. End of interview. Boring. I'm kidding.
What about this? You said when you hold up your sign, and by the way, you have a nicer sign, and that's this. I was going to give a lot of like.
It's another Tom Van Pro tip.
Advice. First of all, you're good looking, so that helps you a lot. If you look like Charles Manson, no one's going to pick you up. And
right.
So that's the thing. I'm sure being white helps too in a racist America. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, especially with all these rebel flag memes I've been seeing everywhere.
I'm just guessing if you looked like Kimbo Slice, a lot less people would have picked you up.
I would pick up Kimbo Slice.
I'm just saying.
I'm like, holy shit, Kimbo, where are you going?
Listen,
and do you have Oxycontin?
And if you don't believe me, look on Facebook. We're full of racists in America.
Facebook is the most racist place in the world.
So second,
Racebook.
I like the fact that you have a reasonable, like, do you have a reasonable distance that you put on the sign? Because if you just put San Francisco, I feel like most people will be like, well, fuck this, I'm going 10 miles
I
up
see
the road.
what you're doing. You got to shoot low.
Yeah,
no.
Chip away.
For example, my last sign said Nashville. I also had a sign that said West on it, just to switch it up.
Do you carry a plethora of Sharpies and cardboard?
I don't carry cardboard. I carry about 3 pretty big markers. And, a cardboard's pretty easy to come by off the exit. There's pretty much a McDonald's wherever you go, and, like, gas stations have cardboard dumpsters.
Do you find that people are willing to take you? Because here's the thing. I get awkward and I'm overly polite in a lot of situations. So I feel like if I picked up a hitchhiker and like I was only going like, let's say, and for Orlando people, if I'm going from fucking Orlando to Daytona, right?
Okay.
And then that's all I'm going.
What's
and
that, 40 miles?
And the guy was like, man, I really want to go to I need to get to St. Augustine. I'd be like, fuck it. And then you drive like, do you find people are like overly nice and want to help you out even more than they should?
I mean, some people are like, I'll take you 20 and double that just because we kind of talk more and they realize I'm not like an axe murderer, so they decide to take me a little further. Some people have taken me directly to where I want to go, and some people have just taken me to an exit or wherever.
Do you think anybody would pick you up if you held an axe out? If you just held it.
And it said San Francisco on the axe.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know about that one.
I like the fact that people, once they realize you're not an axe murderer, then are like more nice to you, and they fucking picked you up with the perception that you were an axe murderer.
But
they're like,
I think they realize that I'm just like a regular guy.
When I picked you up,
and then you're like, I'm a regular murderer, not an axe.
But like they're like, shit, you're a nice guy. When I first picked you up, I thought you were a murderer. Like, what the fuck do you pick me up for?
Okay, so if you're riding with that sweet Spanish woman from or excuse me, from South America. You're riding around with her. So if you need to use the restroom of any of these people that have picked you up, do you say hey,
can you stop off?
I'm
I gotta
really
piss.
sorry. Yeah, can you pull over because I really got to pee? Like, how do you handle something like that?
I haven't really been in a situation where I've really had to do that. Like, it hasn't been too dire, but they generally are stopping for to go to the bathroom themselves or like the gas station or something like that. So I usually have a chance to do that. But I mean, I'm not against just telling them, hey, I got to go to the restroom or something.
Now, Pat, how long do you expect that your journey is going to take? Like to get from now to San Francisco, 4 days to Tennessee. You made pretty good time, and so how long? How long do you expect to take you to get to San Francisco?
I could. I mean, I did realize. Yeah, I got Tennessee a lot quicker than I thought I would. So I've been actually like slowing down a little bit and taking more time to like check out each state and like hang out with some people in the states and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I could probably make it within 15 days if I did like hitchhike a bunch, just like every day, or, you know, it's really hard to tell, especially the further west and north you go. I've heard that people are more likely to pick you up and take you further because they're not going to like Kansas, they're going through Kansas or through Utah.
Yeah.
Most likely to California.
Let's talk about
So it could take 2 days. It could take 20 days.
Let's talk about radio selection, or you know what's going on for entertainment. Mm-hmm. Have you had any weird like music or self-help tapes or anything like?
A dude talked on the speaker through his car. You know how you can do like Bluetooth through your car and just speak in your car.
Yeah.
He was like one of his friends hit him up, and he put it over the speaker, and he just talked to them like it was it was just an average day. He didn't even mention I was in the car or anything. That was kind of funny.
That's kind of weird.
He's like,
no, I'm not.
sorry, set reminder to kill hitchhiker in 15 minutes. You're like, what the fuck? And you're like, nothing?
It was like a work thing, too. It was like a work call.
It was a work call?
Yeah.
Yeah, what else?
Let's see. I mean, nothing too weird. A lot of times it's just the radio.
Do you sit in silence a lot?
Yeah, there is a lot of just... So if you're, like, uncomfortable with, like, awkward silences, or if you think silence is awkward, you probably, like, shouldn't be hitchhiking.
I don't think Tom could do it.
I'll just tell you.
But I just, like, go on my phone sometimes, or I've even fallen asleep, you know.
Now, do you have
Pretty relaxed.
Do you have any backup to protect yourself?
Yeah.
Or, like, what if the person...
You got to have a knife on you, right?
What if the person starts driving... like, say you fall asleep and you wake up. This would be my worst nightmare. You wake up and now you're driving down, like, a dirt road with fucking forest on both sides.
No, that's not even that bad. Next thing you wake up, you're on a hospital gurney, and you're butt naked.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you wake up and
the guy's got a fucking cattle prod.
And you're like, holy shit. Like, do you have any backup plan, any sort of way to, fight back if someone starts to, fucking driving you down abandoned road?
Yeah. I do have pepper spray on me.
Oh, okay.
What are you, girl?
I've been actually keeping it in my backpack, so I haven't had it in my pocket.
What are you going shopping at Albertsons, little baby?
You got a rake whistle?
Yeah. What are you going to toot your whistle and hope the constable comes and helps you out?
Well, yeah, a lot of people have been like, "Hey, are you going to bring a gun, or are you going to bring a knife?" And I don't know. I just think that would make the situation a lot worse than it would.
Always carry a knife. I always have a knife on me.
I have a Swiss Army knife.
That's going to be hard to stab with.
Yeah, that's going to be hard.
You take out the little toothpick.
Like a butter knife.
Yeah, you could use the tweezers.
Well, Pat, thanks for talking to us. We may call you next week and find out what your progress is.
Yeah, we want to find out where you're at.
Cool, yeah.
It's very intriguing.
Thanks for having me.
It's intriguing to me that you're doing this. And obviously, this is not just a money-saving thing. This is more about the
adventure,
journey.
Yeah.
Because, like, a one-way ticket from Orlando to L.A., like, flying-wise on Southwest is probably, like, $400, something like that. You know,
it's not bad.
So this is definitely about the adventure, but it's cool, and it's a cool story. So
well, stay safe and know that we're rooting for you, and we're excited about your adventure, and we'll try to give you a call next week.
Yeah, awesome. And I do post daily videos every day on my website. It's truetransient.com.
Cool.
So you want to check that out.
Truetransient.com.
True Transient.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, dude. We'll call you next week and see where you're at.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. What a cool dude. That was...
I've always wanted to do so. I feel like that's something...
Well, now's the time. You got a pregnant wife.
I think